Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rise the Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again for another soulful conversation and opportunity to get closer to your highest self. Welcome back to another episode of Side Notes. If you are new to this series, this is an episode in between episodes where I dive a little bit deeper into the last topic that I talked about and share some personal insights and stories from my own life. Our last episode was all about plot twists, so this Side Notes episode will be a fun way to share some stories about the biggest plot twists in my life and how some of the biggest changes have led me to the best places and things that I could have never imagined working out for me. When I actually thought of the topic of plot twists, I thought of it in terms of a Side Notes episode, so I am glad that I was able to make something really valuable and share my opinions on it, but this right here was what I was waiting for, to just sit back with you guys and tell you all about some of the crazy things that have led me to where I am now. I've really learned to see things like change and breakdowns and big upheavals in my life as arrows pointing me along my path. As I talked about in the first episode since the relaunch, which was the Everything That Led Me Here episode, last year in 2024 was full of huge changes and so many plot twists that I could have never imagined. And at the time, they were extremely difficult to go through. But when I look back on them, I can see how they were all adding up to perfectly place me exactly where I am today. And that's why I love the phrasing of plot twists so much, because I feel like it truly is these things that we can't see in the moment because we are living it day by day instead of being able to see the bigger picture. But when you look back at the story of your life, you see that that is where the moment changed. That is where everything was shifting for me. And if I only would have known in that moment how good things were going to get, maybe I could have trusted and surrendered a little bit more. I've also learned over time that I've had to lose some things in order to make space for new ones. And that change truly is the fuel of growth and of becoming that highest version of yourself. Nothing amazing could come into your life if you were always going to stay the same, and you cannot expect to experience new levels and new versions of yourself without being willing to shed those past versions of you. And oftentimes that shedding is going to feel really uncomfortable and somewhat painful, but these twists and these turns are the most beautiful parts of life. And the more that we can lean into surrender and trust, the more that we'll be able to see that everything is always working out for our highest good. If you need more tips on that, go check out the Unknown and Self-Trust episodes. But let's talk about some of these tiny moments that change everything, because that is what life is truly made up of. Life really is made of these tiny moments that change everything. And I think once I share more examples and talk a little bit more in depth about this, you all will see how this is so true in your own life. I feel like lately, anytime I leave the house, I've been living in this energy of expectancy of something really fun and really cool to just drop out of the sky. I talked about that energy in the full-on episode, but living within it, every time I leave the house, I'm like, what beautiful thing could happen right now? What really fun change could I experience that I would never see coming? And living with that energy is so exciting and makes life just a little bit more fun. It's truly never knowing how good things are about to get for you and how life can completely switch up to give you everything that you want. Something that I say throughout the episode is that you never know what is waiting for you right around the corner, and you never know how good things are about to get. When we are stuck in our current circumstances, it is so easy to feel like things are only going to get worse, or how will they get better, or how will things change? But you literally never know. You could wake up tomorrow and the very thing that you have been praying for could drop into your lap. How is that not so exciting? How doesn't that make you just want to live a little bit more and embrace whatever you're going through right now? Because it could all disappear tomorrow and you could live a completely different life life, but a life that is there for the better. I also think this has inspired me to say yes to more things lately because you never know where it's going to lead. I've been given a few plans and opportunities that maybe I normally would have been like, I don't know if I want to do that. But lately I've been saying yes to everything because you truly never know where it's going to lead. And I think I get stuck in these times where I'm at home a lot, I'm working on the podcast a lot, I'm working on myself, and I'm like, girl, you are not putting yourself in these situations for life to throw a plot twist at you. Like, you need to be out of the house and you need to be in places and opportunities where things can really shake up for you. So it's also been causing me to say yes more, which has been really fun, and also just inviting change into my life instead of being so stuck in my routines and what I know. I am such a routine-based person. I love to do the same thing every day. I love to go to the same places. Like, I like what I like. I'm sorry. But this idea of plot twists and embracing change has really allowed me to find more ways to incorporate that into my everyday life and just find new opportunities. Let's go to a different grocery store than normal. Let's try somewhere new for happy hour than where we go every single time. Let's put ourselves in situations that God could give us something that we never expected. So speaking of things that we never expected, let's dive into some of these stories. And if you're my friends, you probably know some of these, which is really fun, but I think that you will enjoy. So my number one plot twist, and I think this probably goes for every single person, is how I have met all of my friends. I have not met any of my friends in ways that I expected, and I think friendships and the ways that we connect with people are the most beautiful reminders of how plot twists can be the best things for us. So please think about it. How do you know all of your friends? Like, it comes from the most random places, and it truly brings in the people that are so meant to be in your life. Shout out to my best friend, Pierce. Me and Pierce have been friends for 10 years now, but he came into my life at a time that I had drifted apart from my closest girlfriends. I was feeling so alone, feeling like I had just lost my friends. This was right before we were entering high school, and truly just out of nowhere, Pierce and I connected. We started hanging out, and it was almost like we just chose each other to be our best friends, and life completely changed for me. I was talking to my therapist about this recently, actually, because she was asking me about high school and like my friends and everyone that was there, and I just kept saying, Pierce was there, he was there through it all. We had each other through absolutely everything in our lives, and I would have never expected that. I would have thought that the girls that I was close with before I met him were going to be the people by my side throughout all of high school, but it was actually him, and it came in such an unexpected and amazing way, and everything was so synchronized that it obviously just feels very fated and meant to be. But that's a big example of one that I would have never expected. I never thought he was going to be my best friend, my ride or die, the person by my side for the last 10 years, but he completely has. So all of my friends have come through completely randomly. I will not go into each and every one of them because you don't need to hear kind of a repetitive story of I didn't know this person and then they came in. But one that I do love recently is my best friend here in Denver, Kayla, came in a very unexpected and random way. We actually met because I was supposed to hang out with a guy that I really liked at the time. We had plans this night and he ended up canceling on me at the last minute, and I was like so bothered and disappointed in the moment. And my roommate was like, you have to come out with us. You have no option. Like, you are coming. And I so did not want to go, but I forced myself and I went out, and that is the night that I met her, and she became my best friend, and we have been by each other's side ever since. And it's things like that that will give you so much trust and faith in the universe. And these are such small examples, but I think it goes to show that you never know what is right around the corner for you. In the times that I have felt so much loneliness and so much not understanding why I don't have more friends or why I'm not connecting with people, literally a week later, 2 weeks later, a month later is when I'm going to meet the person who's going to change everything for me. And I think when you can live life with the expectancy that things are going to get better, you will see that things get better. I think that's the main thing I want to convey throughout this plot twist episode, is that narrative of positive thinking and knowing that yes, it can be painful to experience what you're going through right now, but that doesn't mean it's not leading you to something so joyful and so beautiful. It's important to remember to feel your feelings and feel whatever it is that you're going through, but you can also know that it's happening for a reason and that things can shift at any moment. It is so important to just not get stuck in this mindset of thinking that things will never change and that your current circumstances are forever, because things can change tomorrow. They can change in an hour. You have absolutely no idea. And I want you to get excited about all of the amazing things that could happen to you. And I think my actual favorite plot twist stories are the two where I leaned into surrender and trust the most. And this was with my job. And I think that these stories are also really good because they show how you can tap into the feelings that you're feeling in the moment while also expecting something better, exactly what I was talking about before. So we can start off with how I ended up working remote for 2 years and honestly having a pretty chill job. So when I first started my job, I was planning to do something completely different. I was supposed to be in person 5 days a week, doing what I had expected to do that I had signed up for after I had completed my senior year of college. I moved out to Denver and I showed up on my first day of work and was told that I would be doing something completely different. I was told I would actually be doing the one thing that I did not want to do and that my name was on that list. Oh, and also I was supposed to work 12-hour night shifts. So you can imagine what a gut punch that was. Here I was, had just graduated college, moved my entire life to Denver, was starting my first full-time job, already going through like so much change, and you add on to it, you are going to be doing the one job you don't want to do, the one shift you wouldn't want to work, and everything that could have possibly gone wrong is going wrong. I couldn't believe it. I simply couldn't believe it. But something in the moment was like, of course, this would happen to me. I would be the one person that deals with this. But I kept thinking about it and I was like, I am the one person that gets this because I'm the one person who knows how to handle this better than anyone possibly could. And so I, of course, let myself feel the feelings. I cried about it. I was upset about it. I was angry about it. I let myself lean into those and feel all of the human things that come along with experiencing such intense disappointment and change. But then I thought to myself, we're going to get out of this. We are going to tap into trust and surrender and prayer, and we are going to find a way out, because if this is not what we want to do, this is not what we have to do, and we have to trust that God led us here for a reason and for a purpose, and so we just need to see what is all going to unfold. And so the entire time this lasted, I would say the in-between was about a month or two where I just really leaned into trust and surrender. I affirmed to myself all the time, one of my favorite affirmations, all is well. Out of this situation, only good will come. I kept affirming to myself that everything is always working out for me. Things go so well for me. This is happening perfectly for me. And I just continued to trust. And I think this situation was so impactful because I had no idea how it was going to work out. I had no idea what sort of shift they were going to be able to make in order to get me a job that I actually enjoyed. But I almost had to be delusional in a sense to say, they have to figure it out. This isn't what I want to do. Someone is going to remedy this, and I am just going to sit here and trust in that. I knew that there was nothing that I could really do in order to fix the situation. Me using my human mind and trying to control things wasn't going to change anything. What was I going to do? Create a job for myself out of thin air using my hands? Like, I really took this as an opportunity that God was saying, you need to trust me. You need to lean into it, and you need to know that something better is coming, and that's how you're going to get it. But if I sat there and I thought, oh my God, I need to go out and look for a new job. I need to do this, this, and this. I can't believe that this is happening to me. Like, I can't believe it. No, I sat there saying, this is going to change. This is going to work out for me. I can surrender and receive and watch how it all shifts. And guess what? It did just that. About a month or two later, they came to me and they found me a new position on a new team. And they said, guess what? You get to be fully remote. And that was kind of unheard of. And it was something that I never expected. But of course, who doesn't want to be remote? Like, it was perfect. And it turned out being the most amazing move for me career-wise. I would not have the job that I have now if that had not happened to me. I would not have had the trajectory if that had not happened to me. And I wouldn't have the mindset that I have now if that had not happened to me. Because I think that is such amazing evidence of that things are working out. I would have never been able to be remote otherwise. If I had gotten the job that I originally signed up for, I would have been in person 5 days a week doing what I said I was going to do, and that would have been fine. But I had no idea how good things could get for me. I had no idea that I was going to get to work for corporate and meet all of these people and travel and work remote and have all of these experiences right out of college that I never signed up for. But it's because I trusted that wherever I'm going is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and that only good things happen to me, and that things only work out for me. And I got exactly that. And I love that story because it really was such a tough time, and there was so many emotions going along with it, and so many questions from everyone, like, have they figured it out yet? What's going to happen? And I kept saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to be good. And it worked out even better than I could have ever expected. And another story that goes along with that is actually how I avoided a layoff. So similarly, working the same job, working remote, living my best life, we come to around this time last year. It was actually September of last year. I get furloughed essentially. So they had told me that I had 5 months to find a role, otherwise I would lose my job. And so at the time, of course, I was devastated. Imagine being 23 and your first job out of college and you are getting laid off. They are telling you, you are done. I'm freaking out, obviously, of course. I'm breaking down. I'm on my knees praying to God, like, how is this happening to me? What is going on? But after I had that initial breakdown, I said, okay, this is happening to me for a reason. I have to continue to surrender and trust. And that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what I did. And what I've really found over time is that I am able to lean into that surrender and trust in times of chaos and uncertainty more than I'm able to lean into it when things are going well. And I think because when things break down so hard, you're kind of given no option but to trust that things are going to get better. But when we're living and things are going well, it's almost like we can start to think that things could get worse. That's just something to think about, a little tidbit. But going through this, I was like, okay, it has to get better. This has to happen for a reason. Whatever is happening, I will trust it, and I will trust the direction that I'm being guided. And I also lived with so much certainty that I wasn't going to lose my job. I just never really allowed that to be something that I would conceptualize or fear, because I felt like if I recognized that as a valid experience or a valid outcome, that was going to allow it to come into my life. So I almost rejected it. I rejected it in a way that I still accepted it, and I accepted the circumstances of what was happening, but I didn't accept that that outcome was what was going to happen to me. So I continued. Every time someone would ask me, have you found a job yet? What are you going to do? Oh, there's only 1 month left for you to find a role. What are you going to do? I said, I don't know. God is figuring it out. I'm figuring it out. I know that everything is working out for me, and I'm not going to continue to sit here and try to control the situation so hard to drive an outcome. I'm going to focus on the outcome and let the how and the when come to me. And that's exactly what I did. And I ended up being given a different position in my own company, and I successfully avoided that layoff. And looking back on it, it's kind of crazy. Like, I was supposed to lose my job in February, and I never did. I continued to ride that wave. And I think it truly is because of the mindset that I had around it and the faith that I had in the good things to come. And I just never really accepted that things were going to get that bad. But I did accept that I could handle whatever came. I had so much trust in myself and who I was that I knew whatever happened, I would be able to get myself out of it. But I just didn't dwell too much on the things that I didn't want to happen. Whenever someone would say, well, what if you do get laid off? Then what? I would just say, I'll figure figure it out. Like, I don't need to dive too deep into situations that aren't happening yet. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. And I think this story, combined with the last one, combined with meeting my friends, overall just gives me so much affirmation and confirmation in the way that things always work out for us. So whatever you're experiencing in life, if it feels like you are being led down a path that you never wanted to go down, I promise you that it is leading you exactly where you wanted to be. Take it from someone who had to suffer a breakup and a layoff and live at home with their parents for 6 months last year, who was going through a really bad time, to now is here, like, happier than ever, brighter than ever. And I would not be half of the person I am today if I did not go through those things. And I would not be sitting here sharing with you the wisdom of the good things to come if I didn't experience it. So I want you to continue to trust that whatever's happening for you is happening for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for your highest good. And if you can continue to focus on the things that you want to happen and expect and be certain that only good things happen to you and that only everything is working out for you, I promise that things will be just fine. All is well. Out of this situation, only good will come. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit more about some of the plot twists in my life. And I think plot twists are kind of the best part. So if you are experiencing a breakdown right now, just know it's about to get really good for you. I always think that a breakdown is the signal of like the most amazing things are about to come. So I'm kind of excited for you. But whatever happens, know that you have yourself, you have your trust, you have your faith, and know that you will make it through absolutely anything. So thank you as always for listening to this episode. Check out the description for links to the socials, specifically my TikTok, where you can get more of me in smaller doses and hear more of my advice on a daily basis, which I think sounds pretty great. And I just thank you all so much for being here with me, and I am sending you so much love and light.